at the power of choice. Well, guys, you're going to agree with me that financial freedom does not just come because we want it to come. Financial freedom has been highly related to the choices that we make. So as we are going to be learning throughout the next 10 days, we are going to see a lot of different fantastic topics. We'll learn how to choose a suitable investments. We'll learn how to look for funding, how to source for funding, when to look for funding. We'll learn when to quit your job. We'll learn a lot of different investment development techniques. But before we get into all the technical aspects of financial freedom, we want to begin our session by first discussing one of the fundamental principles of life, and that is choice. Why, guys, are we choosing choice? Why are we talking about choice? The power of choice. What is it about choice that makes it so important that we are supposed to talk about it right now? So, guys, throughout this session, you will see just that. So there we go, guys. What really is a choice? Now, you're going to see here, guys, that a choice is the freedom to choose. And more often than not, choices reflect our decisions. They reflect our personalities. They reflect our character. They reflect our attitude. They also reflect our values and what we value the most in our lives. And most importantly, if you've observed, they also reflect our past and the future we hope for. So what really are we talking about when we talk about choices? How do choices reflect our decisions? How do choices reflect our personality? How do choices reflect the future that we hope for? So these are going to be fundamental principles that are going to help us in our journey to financial freedom. You are not free until you are financially free. So guys, if you think about all these points here, look at that other one there. Choices reflect our decisions. How? Sometimes the word choice has been used interchangeably with the word decision. They don't mean the same thing. Sometimes they can be the same thing, but more often than not, they are not the same thing. They mean something very different. So let's go and look at it in a much more deeper perspective. What is the difference between a choice and a decision? How do we explain the difference between a choice and a decision? Now, you can see from here, guys, that choices are opportunities, while decisions are analytical methods to eliminate options. So if you have options in front of you, lots of options, those are choices that are in front of you. The moment you begin to choose one, now that is a decision that you are making. So choices give us a variety of options, while decisions help us to pick from those options. So decisions involve a thorough process, a thoughtful process. It is the direction that you take after starting with choices. You look at the available choices, you look at the available opportunities, and then you consider your past experience and expected outcome, and then you make a decision. So a choice is not complete without a decision, because a decision is an action that is taken after you've considered your choices. So choices are going to be very much fundamental if we are going to be successful. If we are going to be financially free, choices are going to mean quite a lot. We need to make these choices. So the next thing that I want us to look at, guys, apart from these things, remember, look at that one. Choices are opportunities. And remember, financial freedom is as a result of the opportunities that are available. So we are going to explore that one in a much more deeper details for the next few days. But in the meantime, why is choice so important in the attainment of financial freedom? Why are we talking about choices? Why can't we just forget about choices and just go ahead and talk about money? Talk about how to invest, talk about where to get the money, because we want not just to help you on seeing opportunities, but we want to support you all the way to the end. So some of you are going to walk away here feeling very good. This is going to turn out to be one of the most fantastic decisions you ever made, because some of you from this program, you're going to walk away feeling free. So guys, why is choice so important? You know, it is our choices that show who we truly are. Our choices show who we truly are far more than our abilities do, guys. So choices have consequences. This is why they are so important. Number one, they show who we are more than our abilities. You can be good at doing something, but the choices you make, they reflect you more than your abilities. You have to bear in mind that choices have consequences. This is why they are so important. Choices have power to shape not only your present, but also your future. So your future is much more dependent upon your choices. So choices we make have the power to push away or draw near people and opportunities to us. So guys, choices are very, very important. If you want to grow financially, you must develop the attitude of evaluating your choices in a much more unbiased manner. You have to be very careful in how you evaluate your choices, because choices will determine how far you're going to go in your pursuit for financial freedom. So why are we so much talking about choices? What really is the value that comes with choices, guys? What value is there? Now, look at it this way. The value that is in choice, guys, is this. I want you to look at this, in this way. The freedom to choose is by far the most valuable freedom any living being can ever have, and has great potential to build or break a person. That is the value of choices. No, a choice is the freedom to choose. Now, that freedom to choose has landed some people in a lot of financial problems, has landed some people in a lot of bad marriages, has landed some people in a lot of sadness and distress. The freedom to choose. Our entire life, guys, depends on our choices. That is why God has given us the freedom to choose. You can choose to worship God, and you can choose not to worship God. So all our entire lives, guys, are dependent upon this freedom, the freedom to choose. Yes, the freedom to choose is indeed very much priceless, guys. Just imagine what your life could be without this awesome power of choice. Imagine other people choosing what career you should take. Imagine other people choosing what food you should eat. Imagine other people choosing what jacket you should wear, what tie you should wear, what headphones you should buy, what car you should buy, what house you should live in. Imagine if all those things other people were able to choose for you. If that freedom was taken away from you, imagine what your life could have been without this power, without this freedom to choose. So this freedom of choice is by far more valuable than any other freedom a human being could ever have. This is why, guys, you have to treasure, you have to cherish the freedom of choice, the power of choice, because choices can break you and they can build you and they can make you into a better person. So what choices are you making right now? So there's a lot more to talk about, guys, when it comes to choices. There's a lot more you're going to talk about, because choices are the reason why some people are still broke right now. So after looking at all these points here, I want to bring to your attention, guys, this fantastic question. What choices are you making right now? I want to remind you guys that happiness is a choice, and so is sadness. Being poor is a choice, and so is being rich. War is a choice, and so is peace. Cheating in a relationship is a choice, and so is faithfulness. Quitting an abusive job is a choice, and so is staying in a less paying job. Starting a business is a choice, and so is staying in a less paying job. Hard work is a choice, and so is laziness. So the key point here, guys, that you must always remember choices have consequences. The choices you choose to take now will have results, will have outcomes, will either build you or break you. So you can never attain financial freedom if you don't know how to evaluate your choices. If you don't know how to see that choices have a bearing on you. Building a house is a choice, and so is renting. Getting a loan from the bank is a choice, and so is starting a business to make money for yourself. Being in a lot of debt is a choice, and so is avoiding debt. Being transparent with your money, with your spouse, with your partners in business is a choice, and so is hiding finances. So all of us have choices. This is a bitter truth, guys. Whether we are poor, whether we are rich, whatever life we are having is as a result of the choices that we have made. So we cannot truly go to talk about financial freedom if we don't talk about choices first. We have to start with choices. We have to see the value that choices bring to the table. What choices are you making right now? What choices did you make yesterday? What choices did you make last year? Choices have either built you or they have destroyed you, whether you like it or not. So here's the bitter truth, guys. The bitter truth is that right now, if you look at your life, I don't know what your life is right now, but if you look at it, you are a product of your choices, whether good or bad. So if today you are financially stressed, if today you are financially handicapped, if today you are not happy with how your life is going, whatever it is you are living right now is as a result of the choices that you made. Whatever you are today is a result of the choices that you made or never made. And whatever you will be in a few years from now will be as a result of the choices that you are going to make now or not make now. So if you want a different result, make a different choice. You can never make the same choices and have a different result. It never works like that. So the key thought I want you to have on this is that what choices are you making or not making? So usually we talk about making choices, but we don't talk about not making choices. Sometimes not making certain choices could be the reason why you are where you are right now. Could be the reason why you're not moving financially. Could be the reason why you're always the one who wants to borrow money from your friends. Why? Choices, choices, choices. What choices are you making right now? What choices will you make tomorrow? What choices did you make yesterday? Sit yourself down and answer those questions. Because whatever you are right now is because of your choices. Whether you're the one who made them or whether you did not make them. Not making a choice is also a choice. So financial freedom requires that we first put choices into perspective. Before you go into the complexity of financial freedom, into the calculations we'll be doing, into the investments I'll be showing you, we need to understand what choices are. We need to know that choices will always have consequences. So guys, confirm with me. Are you able to see my screen right now?
Yes.
Yes, you are able to see it.
All right. Are you able to see the slide that says bitter truth?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes, that's the one.
Right, fantastic. So let's move on, guys. We are going to go back to some of these slides again. Now, what are some of the financial freedom requirements? What do we really need to be free? We are not free. We are never truly free until we are financially free. So in order to be financially free, you must make right decisions from available choices. You must avoid making good decisions. So some people may be wondering, but why should you avoid making good decisions? Why should you at all costs avoid making good decisions if you want to be financially free? So let me take you back to what we said earlier. We said choices have consequences. Decisions are a reflection of the choices that we had. So kindly note that not being able to decide is also a decision and it's a choice. Some people right now are in very abusive employments, but they've decided to stay because that's their choice. Some people are in places where they're not appreciated, but they've decided to stay because that indeed is their choice. So what choices are you making right now? That's the question that I want to be ringing on your mind. Now, there's something else other than just talking about choices. Let's be able to differentiate what a good decision is and what a right decision is. What is the difference between these two, guys? What really is the difference between a good decision and a right one? Think of it this way. A good decision is always favorable to you, and it is based on what you feel good about, what looks good, what tastes good, and it never makes you feel guilty. And sometimes even has the potential to impress someone else because it's a good decision. Now, good decisions have a potential to make you feel to progress in life because good decisions are based on what feels good, on what looks good, on what impresses the other person. A right decision, on the other hand, is not always favorable to you and is based on either moral principles, on either the law, and may be good in a third party's point of view. And sometimes may even disadvantage you while benefiting the other person. So a right decision has a sense of reasonableness. Doing what is right is not the same as doing what is good. Doing what is right may not benefit you, but benefit the other person. Doing what is right may hurt you more than the other person, but you still go ahead and do it. Doing what is right may even disadvantage you from a beneficial arrangement and benefits the other person. So doing what is right is different from doing what is good. Doing what is good involves, does not really involve rational thinking, because sometimes you're going to think about what is good for you for now. So if you talk about a good decision may be good sometimes depending on time when it is being made, sometimes depending on the location, the environment, the context, and all those kind of things may be added to a good decision. But that is very different from a right decision. So a right decision is always good regardless of other factors due to its constant in nature, and it is based on principles. So a good decision can be good, remember, depending on time, depending on context, depending on mood, depending on environment. Have you ever heard some people say you did a good thing at a wrong time? What you did was not bad, but you just did it at a wrong time. So it turns out to be bad. But a right decision is always good at every time because it is based on principles. Principles are constant. Principles don't change. You can change the rules. You can find different ways of doing things, but the principle still remains the same. It's like what the Bible says: thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not do A, B, C, D. What is the principle behind that? When Jesus came and said, okay, I'm giving you 2 commandments: love your God, but also love your neighbor. What are the principles behind these 2 things? If you love your neighbor, you're not going to steal from him. If you love your neighbor, you won't hate his feelings. So the principle remains the same, but the rules have changed. So right things are based on principles, not on feelings, not on what the other person is going to think, not on what will people think of me. No, that is not the business. Right decision, guys, are based on principles. They have a stronger foundation than good decisions. So I'm going to take you back again, but I have a question for you. What do you need to have in order to make right choices all the time? The truth to that question is that you don't need to have anything to make right choices all the time, because you can't always make the right choices. Sometimes you make bad ones. It's practically impossible to always make the right choices, but it is always possible to strive and make the right choices most of the times. So the reason why we are talking about choices, the reason why we're talking about decisions, is because these have a fundamental bearing on your financial freedom right now. If you look where you are, I don't know if you are married or not. Whether you are married, the person that is next to you is as a result of your choices. Whether the person you are married to is a thief, is an abusive person, they reflect your choices. Whether it's a thief, they reflect your choices. Whatever person is close to you right now is a reflection of your choices, is a reflection of what you tolerate, is a reflection of what you accept as normal. So your choices have a way of communicating about you to other people in a much more clear way than your words will ever do and your abilities. The kind of car you drive is a reflection of your choices. So choice is important if you want to be financially free. Choice presents opportunities. So your attitude will also reflect your choices. Your choices, in the other hand, also reflect your attitude towards opportunities. So what choices are you making right now? What choices have you not yet made right now? What choices do you need to make for your life to change? You know those answers to those questions. So I want to take you further, guys. I want to take you further to something different. Let me take you further to this. So we have a question in front of us. What really, guys, is financial freedom? What is this? Now, if you look at that one, guys, you are going to agree with me that financial freedom is a status which allows one to never have to worry about money, and it is a product of your choices. So whether you are financially free or not right now, that is also a reflection of your choices. Financial freedom requires a certain change of behaviors. It requires transparency, honesty, and hard work, committed goals, and a change of lifestyle, an investment attitude rather than a saving one. Look at the word transparency. Why is that so important in the attainment of financial freedom? I want to give an example of a married man. A married man who is not transparent in his finances may find it twice as hard to progress financially. And people have debates over this, but it's the fact. The reason why transparency is important for anybody, whether married man or woman, to make it is because marriage is one of the biggest single financial transaction you will ever make. It is a financial transaction, and it is a reflection of your choices, because it can either help you to grow financially or drain you than you used to be. So marriage itself is a transaction. So if you don't treat that transaction with the transparency that it deserves, you're going to sink. I was giving an example the other week that if you're a married person and then you have side hustles, you have money coming from everywhere, and then you don't share with your spouse, there's a higher chance those monies will be misused. They will be used for something that was not intended for, because you are not accountable to anybody. No one knows you have the money. So you can even go and book a lodge and cheat and do whatever you want to do, because no one knows you have the money. You can go and drink. You can even give it away. Your spouse does not know you have it. So you're not accountable for what no one knows you've done or what no one knows you have. The moment you begin to disclose that you have these kind of monies, it helps you mentally to know that somebody knows I have this money. I'm going to be accountable to somebody. And you're going to find a better way of using it. Maybe put your heads together and do it well. So transparency is such a beautiful component of financial freedom, and it reflects your choices. So being secretive is a choice, and so is transparency. Look at the first one. We are being told that whatever our financial situation is right now is a reflection of our choices. And some people may say, but you know, I never made any choices. Some other people made choices for me. I never chose to do this career. Someone else chose it for me. When somebody else chose you to do a certain career for you and you did nothing about it, even that is a choice. There's always a choice in every situation, whether you like it or not, because that's the fact. If you want to be financially independent, you have to make a choice. You have to make a committed decision. And more often than not, all of us know what we need to do to be financially free, but we are scared. I'll tell you a story of myself. What I was so scared more often than not was paying rent. I was scared of rent than anything else. Just the embarrassment of the landlord calling you that you've not paid rent. At some point, I was kicked out of a house because I never paid rent. And I was traumatized for a very long time. You know, I was kicked out by my landlord some time back. I was so poor, I was so broke. I didn't know what to do. I go home, I find my things outside. I've not paid rent for some months, and my landlord is pissed. That can be very, very disturbing. So I looked at my options and I made my choices. I did some evaluations. I said, should I always be the one to be kicked out of a house? What should I do better to change this kind of life I'm having right now? Because what was making me poor then were the choices that I was making and those I wasn't making. The moment I changed my choices, everything changed. This is why I'm here talking about choices, because I had to make choices as well. I had to change the choices I was making. I had to change the people I was being found with. I had to change my perspective. I had to change a lot of things. So financial freedom will indeed require change in a certain lifestyle. If you are broke today, it's because of your choices. If you are broke right now, it's because of your choices. Whether you're happy about it or not, it is a reflection of the choices you made yesterday, the other day, last week, last month, and last year. If you are going to be successful tomorrow and have more money, it will also be because of your choices. It will also be because of your decisions that you're going to make. Because it is your job to improve your life. It is your responsibility to do something about it. It is you who has to see which choice to go with. Even God never forces you to make choices to worship him. He gives you the freedom to choose. Committed goals. Write them down. So as we go through this 10 sessions, we are going to be writing our goals down. I'll be giving you assignments. And I just want to show you how to just get a grip on those monies. There are different available investments. I was so broke. Believe me. I would wake up in the night and cry my eyes out. Nothing changed. Things changed when I changed my choices. That's why I'm able to put my hand in my pocket and give somebody 5,000. I don't even feel bad about it. I don't feel any impact about it because I changed my choices. You're able to walk into a shop when you're financially free and buy a lot of clothes, shoes, jackets, whatever you want. You don't even know the bill. You just pay. You walk out. Even that is a result of your choices. So what choices are you making, guys? What choices are you also not making? Because sometimes there's no way because of certain choices you're not making. So choose to make some choices. What choices are you not making? You know the choices you're not making. Somebody called me and told me, should I quit my job? And then I said, you know the answer. You just don't want to do it. So in the end, you choose to shift your responsibility to me. I should not be the one to decide for you to quit your job. So people are so afraid of making choices. Sometimes the choices not making are the reason why we're not progressing. So if you sit down and ask yourself, what choices am I not making? You're going to see that actually the choices you're not making are the reason why you're not moving forward. Make those choices. So we will be able to learn a lot of things as we go, guys. But in the meantime, I want to say that thank you so very much for tonight. Tonight was meant to be a short session, not a longer one, because it's the first day. We are going to have a lot of experts that are going to come on board. I have spoken to economists. I have friends outside the country. I have spoken to accountants, and they have prepared things for you. So going forward, we'll be having different faces coming to talk to you. And I really hope they'll be available. The response is very good. They've confirmed, but not subject to change. Like today, you're supposed to have somebody else after me, but because of a work schedule, they couldn't make it. So they are hoping to make it tomorrow. So whatever you do, guys, remember, you are a product of your choices. I want to thank you so very much for your time and for being here. We could have talked about this topic in a much more deeper detail, but I chose to keep it brief and simple. Thank you very much, guys. I want to believe that we are going to work together as we go, and a lot of good results are going to come out. Is there anybody who has a question? Is there anybody who has a question?